E3 2017 True Wild Hunt Super Turbo Lighting Mod 3.1 and Clear Lighting for Toussaint by Bearded Wonder 95. You saw right, E3 2017. This mod was inspired by the stylistic approach of The Witcher 2 and the E3 2014 gameplay footage trailer, but many liberties were taken, and this is how the mod author imagines the game would look if the gameplay were to be shown at this year's E3. It's a bit more desaturated and cold, but also much more stylized and vibrant, much like The Witcher 2 and E3 trailers and gameplay footage from The Witcher 3. E3 2017 is the game's base, and it also takes care of Hearts of Stone. Based off the E3 trailers and gameplay, The Witcher is meant to be a dark and gritty game. The mod author started playing The Witcher 2 in his quest to complete the trilogy because he was drawn to the amazing world of The Witcher. But there are major differences between The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3 that slightly bothered him. Stylization. He's a person that enjoys stylistic approaches to games as opposed to the vanilla approach. This reshade was much more dark, like the pre-release footage, and seen in previous titles. He went with the HDR to make the colors more defined and easier to work with, crossfade to improve, implement minor contrast and desaturation, sharpening to match the typical CD Projekt Red stylization, and to make the details pop more. The tech color to give it a bit of a cold feeling. Now, if you're worried about the game feeling cold everywhere, then you don't have to. Areas that are meant to be, such as Novigrad and Hearthstone areas, are still warm and alive like they're meant to be, but not too much. The author feels like it shouldn't be the Witcher universe. For Toussaint, the mod author couldn't go off of the E3 footage, but the gameplay trailer had very different lighting compared to the actual release, and that was the color. The release ended up with a very strong yellow tint to it, as opposed to the trailer not having it, so he wanted to recreate that. He wanted to create more of a natural white light as opposed to the high fantasy yellow light. The mod author realized that he could contradict himself by what he said in the base game section, but he felt like the high fantasy feeling of Toussaint felt incredibly out of place in the low dark fantasy of the Witcher universe. He took out some of the color, but not all, because he didn't want the exclusive feeling of Toussaint being very vibrant and alive as opposed to the rest of the swamp-filled world of The Witcher. For the style, the mod author went with sun-bleached for Toussaint, heavily inspired by Sapienza for Hitman 2016. If he got enough requests for a cold version, then he would make one, assuming that he can. And thanks. I can honestly say that I think the mod author did a fantastic job with this reshade. Actually, it is very, very cold. It's a distant and dark feeling. It's far more ominous, I'd say, in the swamp areas as well. The whole game takes on a different life with this, and I guess that's what the mod author was aiming for. Something darker, more lost, more evil, twisted. As Geralt of Rivia said, he carries two swords on his back, and they both kill monsters. I like what he's done here. I can honestly say that. I don't feel that there would be any need to alter Toussaint any further to be cold, so I may disagree with him there, simply because I think Toussaint, the whole point of the area was that it was the complete and utter contrast of Velen and Novigrad. And much like California is the polar opposite of New York when you think about it. But that's how Toussaint and Velen are. They're two polar opposites. In New York, it's cold, it's fucking rainy, everybody's an asshole. In California, it's sunny, even in the fucking winter, it's 60 degrees, everyone's having a good time. You'd say, hey, you want to go to the store? Like, yeah. It's like a new experience for them, but they've been to that store 1,000 times. Pot's legal. Good times. Have you been to San Francisco? Crack is smoked freely. I'm just saying, that's how Toussaint is for me compared to Velen in The Witcher. And you might be saying, Gundam, that's... whoa. Oh, now you know something. Gundam's here to teach. Now back to this mod. It's beautiful. I actually like it a lot. I truly do. While going into the swamps and fighting drowners and water hags, it's different now. It feels more dark and sadistic, like this seems like a hopeless, twisted area in a twisted world where a peasant has no hope for anything but death. And I think he knocked it out of the park there. Even with the way light plays in the clouds, with Super Turbo Lighting mod and this reshade. Like when it's in the middle of the day but it's raining, which it rains a lot in Velen, I'm now noticing, because of this mod just makes rain seem more gloomy. And this whole area is truly what I felt the E3 trailer was like. And back to my point, even the clouds play a part. Like when the clouds go over the sky with the volumetric clouding and such, it's so dark even in midday, but then there'll be little patches of light, and when you walk into them, it's like, it's so different. It kind of hits you. It makes you pay a bit more attention in the sense of like you feel like this is just too dark, it's too depressing, and then there's like that little glimmer of light, and it makes you realize that the reshade is very well thought out. It's very, very stylized though. The mod author did take his liberties, and that is the whole point of art. Art is for one artist's interpretation of the world, and whether you like what they are doing, or whether you're capable of perceiving what they are trying to convey to you, or you surmise your own thoughts and feelings from it, I think this mod is fully capable of doing that. I also like what he did tweak with Toussaint. I found the colors just had a bit more pop slightly, and getting rid of that yellow is not a bad thing. In fact, I wasn't very fond of it. It didn't bother me to the point of where it was an issue, but taken away, you're like, yes, this is something better. By the way, in order to use this mod in Velen, if you have the expansions, you're going to need the Clear Light mod from Clear Lighting in Toussaint by CHC in order to use this reshade there. Just so you know, it's something you will probably need. You do need. Who am I kidding? Not probably. I was using the sharpening version of this mod, by the way, which I originally thought might be too much, but actually it isn't. I like what it does. So kudos to the mod author there for not having it so sharp in the sharpening that it would just make me go, I can't do this. It looks like someone turned the sharpness on my screen all the way to max. It's just right where it gives a bit more detail in the faces to me, which then makes the voice acting and the animations for the faces just seem to be just a hair more realistic, so you pay more attention to dismay in a person's face when they're speaking to Geralt when something tragic happens. And I thought that was also a nice touch. This does use Super Turbo Lighting Mod 3.1, as I said in the beginning. I believe I have an instructional video on how to install it somewhere. I know people have issues. Actually, there's even an instructional video on my channel for how to install it on Mafia 3. It's the same principle, actually, but the mod author for this has a slight different formula in its instructional thing, so please follow this to the letter if you want the mod to work correctly. Super Turbo Lighting Mod 3.1 using Reshade 3.1. It's not as easy as Reshade 2.2 and 1.9, etc., where it's click and drag, you're done. It just requires a bit more attention from you. So be wary of that, and don't be put off to it. It's not that hard. It can be slightly confusing at first, but once you get it, you know, you'll never have an issue with it again, and you'll sit there and wonder, oh, why the fuck was I confused by this before? Well, that's gonna do it for me. I can actually give more of a fuck than I do about anything. We all know how rare and precious fucks are in the world today. They're like diamonds. So, rate, comment, subscribe if you so choose to. If not, who cares? It's fine by me, no biggie. And if you want to share me, go right ahead. Remember, sharing is caring. I'm one step closer to how am I gonna get to world domination if damn it, damn stuttering. Since when do I stutter? World domination.